Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. I'm so glad you are here. Yes, you are seeing a home video on a Tuesday. Now, I thought since it was the last day of September, I would do a little bit of an update garden tour. Since I started with the garden season in June, I was doing end of month garden tours, and I thought why not do it for the end of September as well. We have been very busy cleaning up the gardens and the yard, and I will share a little bit of that later on with you. I'm right here in the front flower garden. I'm going to share this with you first, and then the backyard. It is looking absolutely fantastic, at least to me, compared to what it did. Remember, I took out all those tall shrubbery perennials in the front here to expose my rock garden a little bit more, and it has turned out so well. My husband dug up more of those cement blocks that had sunken in over the years, and he finished quite a bit more. He is almost done. He has a short little piece left to do, and so it is looking much better, and I'm absolutely loving it. Right there, he has a small little piece left to do. But other than that, he's done all around the garden. It makes it look so much fresher and newer and nicer. My chrysanthemum is blooming already. And for the fall season, I wish I had a few different colored ones, but I only have two purplish pink ones in the front here. Well, those are the only ones I have all together. I will not be cutting down the perennials in my flower garden here in the front, simply for the fact all the leaves are looking healthy, all the plants are looking healthy, so I will do that in spring. Talk about that a little bit more later on. As I was cleaning up the garden and tidying it up, I noticed all these mushrooms growing here, and I thought that just looked so pretty. I have a few perennials in this tree stump as well as some annuals. And oh goodness, I thought it just looked so pretty. It looks so whimsical, I guess. We have had an absolute beautiful summer. I cannot complain. It's not been dry. I've had to water only a couple of times. We've had plenty of rain. I had this one geranium, pretty in pink, still blooming here. So I left that standing, as well as all my marigolds I left. And I will leave these in probably till either mid-October or end of October. And they just look really pretty. The bright orange or pop of orange and yellow here for the fall season. And it is just looking so beautiful compared to what it did before, especially after I removed all that the tall shrubs there in the front, if you remember that, and planted the low growing stuff in the front. And you can now see the rock garden. And I think it's just so pretty, and I love how it turned out. I did buy 2 packs of new tulips this year since I have used my other tulips for 2 years already and they had all rotted already. And so I'm going to go ahead and plant 2 packs of new tulips in here as well. At some point, I'm just not quite sure if I will be putting that on a video or not, but I'll be doing that sometime in October. This is the wild pack of flowers I had planted around this big rock, and now everything is starting to bloom yet. I don't know. They were kind of being lazy, and now that the season is almost over, now they decided to bloom. But yeah, everything is looking pretty good. The reason I'm cutting all my shrubs back this fall, it is best if you do it in springtime rather than fall, unless your plants are carrying a disease. If you can see your leaves are not healthy and they are just not looking good, then it's best if you trim that all back in fall. Other than that, it is better if you leave it till springtime, because when healthy leaves fall, it refertilizes the ground. Plus, you're leaving some stuff there for the birds to eat as well, right? So in the front, I'm going to leave everything, but in the back, I'll show you later, I cut lots of stuff back. because we had a disease going on among the rose bushes and other perennials. And this is my front area here. I just added a pumpkin as well. I bought a potted mix of chrysanthemums and my goodness, this vine here, I had to cut back already. It was hanging on the ground. It's been doing fantastic. I probably will plant this again next year. Look at these different colors of vines and ivy at the bottom. It went all along the bricks there. I just thought it was just beautiful. And then, of course, my fern is still doing really well here. So I will leave all that there as long as I can until I guess the snow comes and I will clean everything up. So now moving to the backyard, all my hanging planters, they are all gone. They're all cleaned up. It's looking so empty on my patio right now. I'm missing the colorful blooms, but they had all died off. So I just went ahead and cleaned them all up and put them in the compost. In the area where we live, we have compost that's picked up every week. So we just put it in a bin and put it to the street. But everything else, like the trees are still looking fairly green. Of course, they've changed color. I've recorded this only a few days before the last day of September. So, and the geraniums here and my terracotta pots are still doing pretty nice. So I left them as well. And then, yeah, it is turning pretty yellow already, I guess. But not as much as I thought it would be by now already. Now for my mandavillas, I am so disappointed in them. Okay, they didn't do too bad, but they didn't vine all the way up the trellis that I had there. I thought they would do way better than what they did. But anyhow, moving on to the vegetable garden, everything is cleaned out already. Except of course we still have some carrots left in here. And those you can basically leave in till the first frost. It doesn't really matter. The longer you leave them in, actually some people say if you leave the carrots till after a frost or two, then they're sweeter. So we will take those out at some point yet, but everything else has been cleaned out. Pepper, tomato, plants, everything is gone. I think I shared a little bit of that on my last video, how we were cleaning out the garden. And then in the back here, I've got my root parsley left. And I will just be leaving that in here and using it as I need it. I have actually in winter moved snow out of the way and still dug up some parsley to use. And root parsley should come back again the following year. But this is bittersweet right here, you guys. I'm already sad that everything is gone, but yet at the same time, kind of feel relieved, that it's all cleaned up and taken care of for the season. I've got my lonely rose bush sitting here. This is a climbing rose bush, and it didn't do that well, and I think there was too many tomato plants around it. Next year, we have a bit of a different plan for our garden. So, every year you got to change some things up, right? Our grapevines also, the grapevines themselves did really well, but we didn't get a lot of grapes this year. We had enough for eating, the Concord grapes, but not enough that my husband could make wine out of them. So we just snacked on them, and grandkids enjoyed that as well. But our grass is still looking fairly green. Like I said, we have not had dry weather. We have had quite a bit of rain, so everything is looking still very nice. Now, of course, in the backyard garden here now, you guys, I have trimmed back a lot of the perennials already. Several of them didn't even make it at all after I planted them. They just died off. And then it looks so empty there because I have cut so much back because they were carrying a disease. and that disease was spreading from plant to plant. And I did a lot of research and found out that if falling leaves from trees have a disease, here's our hydrangea turning all nice and pink. I will be cutting some of these to take in for decorations for fall. But yes, so trees, when the leaves fall from the trees in fall and they carry a disease, or I'm not exactly sure how to explain it, but on the video I watched is they can carry a disease, and it is best not to cover your perennials for winter with the leaves because that can destroy your plants later on in fall. Down there, I was just sharing with you, I had also planted some wildflowers and they were blooming now, but it looks quite messy and I'm going to be leaving that for a while, but I will clean that up sometime in October yet. And then we had cut back all our raspberry plants that were in the back there in the area I just showed you, as well as over there on the wall there where the bricks are. That was all tall, full of raspberry bushes. I don't know if you remember that, but we cut that all down, as well as all the perennials that were in front of it. And those two plum trees in the back are still doing really well. But look how empty that looks. Now I'm going to go ahead and go around the corner here of the garage and share with you my little rose garden here. Oh, but you guys, I was so sad. You know, I talked about it in a couple of my videos that my rose bushes never did that well this year. And years before that, they did so well. And that's how I discovered that they were carrying a disease. And it was most likely last winter we raked all the leaves on top of them, to protect them from the cold and the frost. And that apparently was a big no-no. And that's where they got the disease from. So this year we will be covering them up with burlap and other things. Oh, my husband has a squirrel trap put up over there. Him and the squirrels have been at it all of the summer season. The black-eyed Susan is still doing really well, but everything else around it is what I have cut back. But yes, the squirrels, they were eating all the bird food, and they had chewed through the floor of the little shed in the back there, and he has been out to get them ever since, and he has gotten lucky with a few of them, but I told him they're just going to keep coming back. They're multiplying, and they're just going to keep coming back. I'm just sharing with you the little blooms that are here. They look like black-eyed Susan as well, but the thing is, though, these were, well, could still be. It was a wild mix bunch that I had planted there. It is hard for me to believe it's the last day of September already, but you know, the season has to come to an end. And for every ending of a season, there is a new beginning. And I'm just feeling blessed, and I'm thankful for what God has provided for us once again.